welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I am finally back to posting, you guys. I am so sorry I have not posted in such a long time. I was currently with midterms, then I had tests, and then I had assignments, and then I had quizzes, and so many other things for uni, but I'm already week now, so I am back to posting for you guys. So you guys, today I have a little bit of a different video for you. I actually was not planning to make this video. It wasn't until the topic came up, I think 2 weeks ago, I went to lunch with my friend group, and this topic came up. That's when I decided, you know what? I'm gonna make this video for you. So today, you guys, I'm gonna share with you my bullying experience. So I was the kind of person that was bullied all throughout my school life, you guys. I was bullied from elementary to middle to high school, and it never really stopped. Like, even though in high school people wouldn't bully me to my face, they'd bully me behind my back, and I'd hear about it from my friends. So my friends would come to me and be like, "Oh, Amanda, people said this, and this about you, and people believe this, and this, and people think this, and this." I'd be like, all of that's whole garbage. None of that happened. And people would not believe me because they believe the popular, aka I was the popular. So the popular girls or the popular people be people who spread the rumors about me. And people would come to me and be like, "Oh my god, man, did that happen?" I'd be like, "No, it didn't," but they didn't believe me. Now, my issue wasn't the people who were spreading rumors about me. Go ahead if you want to. My issue was that people would take the rumors from the people they heard, spread it, and then add new stuff to the story that they didn't hear. And that's what would upset me, because I had people come to me and tell me stuff where I'm like, when did that happen? That never happened. So honestly, I was really happy when I left school, you guys, because I went to uni and found friends who like me for me. They don't spread rumors about me, don't make me feel like a total piece of human garbage, and they just love me for me. And that's what I like about uni, that I found people who actually love me for me and not people who will do anything to hurt me. But you guys, the reason I'm sharing this story with you is because if you have been bullied before or are being bullied, hopefully my story could help you, and that's the reason I'm sharing it. So, a couple things I want to put out there is that the people who bullied me, I'm not friends with them anymore, but we're not enemies either. It's like if I see them at church or anywhere else, it's like a hi, bye, how are you, how's uni kind of situation. But I don't talk with them. I'm not in contact with them. I follow them on Instagram to stay updated, but I don't talk with them, I don't message them, and like I said, if I see them anywhere outside, it's like a hi, bye, how are you, how's your situation, but I don't talk with them anymore. I think there's only 2 people I stay in contact with from my old school, but other than that, every other friend that I have is from you guys. So we're not enemies, we're not friends either. It's I don't really associate with them. But let's get into the video. Also, one thing I want to point out is that I will be changing all the names in the story. So first thing I want to show you guys is an experiment that our teacher made us do at the beginning of our class. So I told her about my bullying, I told her what happened to me the day before, and the day after that we had art. And she made us do this experiment at the beginning of art. So she gave us a piece of paper and told us to crumple it up. She's like, crumple it up, step on it, completely destroy it, but do not rip it. And that's what we did. So we took this paper and we just crumpled it up. And then after, she told us to open this paper again. So she told us to open it slowly as to not rip it. And then she put a magnet on this piece of paper, stuck it to the board, and told us, this is how people feel when you bully them. So the crumpling represents the bullying when somebody's being bullied. The opening represents when somebody apologizes. Even though you apologize, this piece of paper will never go back to looking like this piece of paper. You see how untouched, perfect, and straight this is, and how crumpled and destroyed this one is? So the whole point of this exercise was to show us that no matter how much we straighten it out, uncrumple it, it's still gonna be crumpled. And even though you're truly sorry that you bullied somebody, it doesn't matter, because there's always gonna be that little piece of hurt that they're never gonna forget. When you bully somebody, they're obviously gonna remember it, and even if they forgive you and you guys are friends again, there's always still gonna be that little piece that hurts them. Just like this paper. This paper is never gonna go back to looking like this sheet of paper. It's going to stay crumpled like this, and this is how people feel after you bully them. Even if you apologize, it's still going to be that little piece in them that will still be hurt. And that's where my story begins. So you guys, we had this boy in our class who we're going to call Robert. This boy was the kind of guy who'd go around telling every single girl in the grade he liked them. Unfortunately, I was one of those girls. I also had a boyfriend who we're going to call Noah. Now keep in mind one thing, you guys. Robert didn't like me. I didn't like him. Noah didn't like him. He didn't like Noah. It's kind of like all 3 of us were enemies. I think you could tell the tension that happened in class when the 3 of us were together, which wasn't a good thing. Those 2 should not be within 2 centimeters of each other, you guys, because there's always going to be a problem that happens. So Noah was kind of like the older brother that I never had. And there were some times where I snapped at him and I'm like, stop, like, you're not my dad, you're not my brother, like, just stop acting like you are. Which now looking back, I do regret yelling at him because all Noah was trying to do is just protect me and he cared about me. So now looking back at me yelling at him, I feel guilty for doing that because all he wanted to do was just protect me and make sure I was okay. And I snapped at him multiple times because I was like, you need to stop acting like you're my brother and dad because you're not. So I am thankful to Noah, even though back then I didn't really see it. However, you guys, Robert was the kind of guy who'd always find a way to cause problems. And when I tell you problems, I mean problems. So, you guys, I was standing at my locker grabbing my books for math because we just finished language. Robert came to me, he's like, hey, Amanda, you look cute today. It was casual day, so I was wearing leggings, you guys. I'm telling you, at school, I always wear leggings for casual day, you guys, because I just cannot stand in jeans for the whole day. I only wear jeans if, like, I have something important that day and I need to, like, you know, look appropriate. But other than that, you guys, it's leggings because I just cannot sit at school for, like, 6-7 hours without leggings. It's just not happening. So, Robert came to me and was like, hey, Amanda, you look cute today. I was like, thank you. Which, keep in mind, you guys, I found it weird that he was giving me compliments when he hates me. Like, he's literally my enemy, you guys. And he's giving me compliments in the middle of, like, the hallway. So I was like, okay, thank you. Like, what was I supposed to tell the guy? And then he pops the question, which is like, do you want to date? When he said that, I started laughing. I started laughing at him because I'm like, date? Yeah, we're in grade 6, you guys. Please tell me why this guy is going around asking girls if they want to date in grade 6. Like, we're just learning biology. Like, what are you going around dating for? Which I'm telling you guys, dating takes up so much time and energy. And I feel that if people aren't mature enough to be in a relationship, you shouldn't date. Like, in grade 6, I feel the guy and girl are both not mature enough to be in a stable, secure relationship where, like, it could be mature. Like, I'm telling you guys, I know it seems, like, cool in grade 6 to, like, go be like, oh my god, I have a boyfriend. But, like, do you really know what, like, the term boyfriend means in grade 6? Like, I'm telling you, I didn't. Like, to Robert, dating to him was holding hands, saying he has a girlfriend, and kissing. And I was like, what the heck? Like, that's not, like, something you should be doing in grade 6. Which I do know some people who dated in grade 6, not naming names, but I do know some people. And it was just like in the sense where in the end they just ended up becoming friends. Because it's like you can't date properly in grade 6 because neither of us are mature. Like in grade 6, neither the girl or the boy is mature enough to be in a relationship where it's stable. Like in grade 6, your concern should be studying, friends, having fun, not dating. Like dating takes so much time and commitment. Like for me, I think the best time to date is third year uni. Because I know most programs are 4 years. Mine is a 4-year program. And I feel that when you're in like third year, you're old and mature enough to be in a relationship that will last and be in a relationship that is just mature enough for both of you to know your limits and be committed to it. But like in grade 6, like we're just learning about the human body. Like, what are you going around dating for? Which is the fact that Robert had 6 girlfriends. And I do not, like, I kid you guys, I am not exaggerating when I say 6. It was actually 6. One of those being my ex-best friend. Which, keep in mind, all of them knew that Robert was dating all of them at the same time. Which, like, if I get a boyfriend, you guys, it's either me or somebody else. You're not dating 5 other girls on the side. And their excuse was, oh, he's cute. Great, there are plenty of other fish in the sea you could go date. But clearly, none of them cared. They wanted Robert. And all of them knew that all of them were dating him at the same time. And I talked to my best friend, who we're going to call Christine. I told her, I'm like, girl, like, you can't be doing it. And she's like, I want to. He's cute. And I'm like, okay, he's cute, but he's dating 5 other girls at the same time. She did not care. And I talked to Noah about this because I was annoyed. I was like, she's going to end up, like, regretting this. She's going to end up, like, you know, like being heartbroken. And Noah told me, he's like, you know what, Amanda, you gave her advice, where she takes her or not is her choice, and all you can do is just be there for her when things go wrong. So I was like, you're right. And I just, you know, sat through her talks about how amazing of a boyfriend Robert is, and I was just waiting, counting down the days until Robert tells her we're over. But anyway, you guys, that didn't happen until like grade 7. On that note though, let's just say that Christine and Robert always used to team up against me, which Christine used to be my best friend, you guys. So when she came back to the school, she left in grade 3, and then for 4 and 5, I was alone, and then in grade 6, she came back. And when she came back, I was like, this is amazing. I have a best friend back. Oh, how wrong I was. Because the moment she came back, her and Robert made this, like, little group where they would bully me constantly, non-stop, you guys. And it would be jokes that I did not like. And I talked to Christine after. I'd be like, I don't like this. I don't like the joke. She'd be like, God, Amanda, can you learn to take a joke? Okay, learn to make a joke that I don't find offensive. Like, it would be jokes that were rude. It would be like, oh my God, like you left your house looking like that today. How can you leave your house looking like that? Or, oh my God, your voice sounds like a mouse dying. Like, I love singing, you guys. I'm not the best singer. I will admit that. But Robert would always be like, oh my God, Amanda, your voice sounds like a mouse dying. Or, oh my God, Amanda, you sound like a cat dying. And I'd be like, okay, like, can you let me sing in peace and quiet? Like, without insulting my voice. And I'd be like, oh my God, Robert, you're the mini Justin Bieber. Like, okay, thanks a lot. Like, I felt offended. It was like they'd make comments that there was no reason for them at all, and I'd feel offended. And I talked to Christina to be like, learn to take a joke. And her dad told us before that some jokes are good, some aren't. The jokes she was making about me were jokes that I wasn't okay with. Everybody else was laughing, and I felt offended, which, if you're making a joke about somebody and they don't take it as a joke, don't do it again. Like, you're offending them and they feel offended. Clearly, Christine and Robert didn't care. They kept on making the jokes. And I kept on telling them to stop. Like, it was annoying me. But again, you guys, I'm the kind of person who can't stand up to bullies. So, the stop didn't exactly work. But anyway, you guys, next week rolls around. And we were getting closer to Christmas break, and our school does a Christmas concert. Like, I think they normally do it on Thursdays, and then Friday is a half day. So we were practicing for a Christmas concert. It was the beginning of the week, you guys. And let's just say the girls had other plans to ruin the week before Christmas break. So you guys, I was standing in line in the cafeteria to get my lunch. And then my friend who we're going to call Rebecca and my other friend who we're going to call Sabrina came to me. And Rebecca's like, Amanda, can I have $1 to buy fries? Which everybody would always ask me for money, you guys. And at that point, I was like, you know what, maybe I should try saying no for once, because I always say yes. So I'm like, no, like, go ask one of our other friends. And I was naming people who were our friends. And she's like, please, please. And then Sabrina's like, no, like, don't listen to her. It's actually for Christine. And the thing was, me and Christine had gotten in a fight earlier that day. So the reason she sent Rebecca and Sabrina to ask me was because she thought if she asked me, I would say no, which I was saying no to everybody, not only her. So then they left. And then after, my friend who we're going to call Sally came and she was like, Amanda, can I please, like, she kept on saying please, like, have $1. I'm like, you know what, fine, like, here, take it. Like, I had a headache, I was done, and I was going to listen to her say please 1,000 more times. So I'm like, fine, whatever, take it. She bought fries and gave it to Christine. I already knew it was for Christine, not for her, because I saw Sally with her lunch. Then recess comes. And I was near my locker, I was beside Rebecca, because Rebecca's locker is right beside mine. And Sally came. Now, I didn't exactly hear the conversation, but I heard her say something like, she won't talk to me, can you go see what's wrong with her? That's all I heard. And then I was on my way out to recess. I tell you guys, so there's like the bathrooms, and then the door to like the outside area for recess. So I passed by the bathrooms. I kid you not, both grade 6 classes, all the girls were in there. And I was like, huh? Like 6A and 6B, all the girls were in there. And I was like, okay, this is weird. So I went to go check it out. The whole bathroom was filled with the grade 6 girls, and they were all standing in front of the stall trying to get Sabrina to come out. So it turns out Sabrina was crying, and she normally doesn't cry in front of people, so that's why she locked herself in the bathroom stall. Because she didn't want to see anybody, like, she didn't want anybody to see her crying. And Sally was fed up because she wouldn't unlock it, so she went under the stall. Now, I didn't hear what happened, like, our stalls were open from the bottom. So I didn't hear what happened, but I did hear the name Amanda. So I heard my name. So when Sally came out, I'm like, Sally, why was my name involved in your conversation? She's like, what do you mean? This whole problem is because of you. I beg your pardon? What do you mean this whole problem is because of me? I was confused, you guys. I didn't know what she meant. Like, I was in La La Land. I had no idea what was happening. So then, Christine walked out of the bathroom to the playground. I followed her, and I'm like, Christine, why was my name involved in Sally and Sabrina's conversation? And she's like, what do you mean this whole problem is because of you? I'm like, can you tell me what's wrong? Like, I was confused, you guys. I had no idea what was happening. Like, this problem's because of me. What did I do? She's like, this all happened because you wouldn't give Sabrina the $1. Really? I looked at her. I'm like, she's crying because I wouldn't give her $1? She's like, yeah. That wasn't the reason she was crying, you guys, and I find that out later. But that's what Christine told me. And I'm like, that's hardly a reason to cry. She's like, yeah. Because when anybody else asks you for $1, you say yes. But when I ask you, you say no. And she got up and started to walk away. And I yelled back after her. I'm like, no. Even when Rebecca and Sabrina asked me, I told them, no, go ask somebody else. Then Sabrina came out of the bathroom with everybody else. And everybody started pointing fingers at me and saying that it was my fault that Sabrina was crying. So I went to my teacher. I'm like, Miss, can I go use the bathroom? She's like, yeah, sure. I went inside. I went to the bathroom, locked myself in the stall, sat down, and cried for 45 minutes straight, non-stop, you guys. Like, I was surprised I didn't end up throwing up for how much I was crying, because I was just crying. Like, my heart hurt. Like, I felt so bad because everyone was blaming me, and I felt bad because I started to feel like it was my fault that Sabrina was crying. Which, comment down below, you guys, and let me know if you think it's my fault. But I was just like, I was hurt because everyone was blaming me, and it felt like my entire friend group turned their back on me. So, recess ends, and I hear people coming in. And I hear Sabrina and Sally enter the bathroom. So I tried to like muffle my cry so they wouldn't hear me. And I heard Sally tell Sabrina some things that made me start the waterworks all over again before I decided to get out, wash my face, and go back to class. So she was telling her, she's like, you know what? Don't listen to Amanda. You shouldn't have become friends with her in the first place. Like, she's a terrible human being. My feelings felt like this. Even worse, it felt like this. My feelings were just like destroyed. And she was telling her, she's like, just don't talk with Amanda, like ignore her, pretend she doesn't exist. And then they left. I started crying again. And then after I realized I had to go back to class because if I didn't, I get like called down on the announcements, and that would just be embarrassing on my end. So I got up, I washed my face, I dried it, and then I went back to class and tried to act normal. Now, you guys, my teacher has a table at the back of her class that sits 6 people. Our entire friend group was 6 people. They wouldn't let me sit with them. I sat at the front at a desk by myself because apparently I was the main culprit in this case. So then we have to go to the cafeteria to practice for the Christmas concert. All my friends are sitting as far away from me as they can, and then Sally comes to sit beside me, and she's like, "Are you ready to apologize?" So I look at her, I'm like, okay, Sabrina crying for me not giving her $1 is not the issue here. Like, it wasn't even for her, it was for Christine. She's like, she's not crying because you didn't give her $1. I'm like, okay, because that's what Christine told me. Can somebody tell me what went wrong so I can actually apologize? She's like, okay. So apparently what happened was when I didn't give Sabrina and Rebecca the $1, Rebecca thought the reason I didn't give it to them is because Sabrina said it was for Christine. So when they left, she was telling, Rebecca told Sabrina, she's like, why did you tell Amanda it was for Christine? Now she's not going to give it to us, and why do you have to be such a little Miss Perfect and everything? So that upsets Sabrina. So that's what made her start crying. So I looked at Sally, I'm like, am I the one who told Rebecca to call her Little Miss Perfect? I didn't, and I wasn't even going to give the $1 to anyone. I only gave it to you because you kept on annoying me and asking me please 1,000 times. Then she's like, you could have avoided this whole situation, you just gave it to them. No, like, what do I look like to you? Like, I'm not like a bank. So then Rebecca came, and then Sally looked at her, and she's like, now Rebecca feels really guilty. And then she's like, yeah, I don't know what to do. And then Sally goes to comfort her and is like, you know what, just go and try to talk to Sabrina. Like, don't mention the fire or anything, just talk to her. Rebecca walks away, goes and sits beside the rest of her friend group. And then Sally looks at me and she's like, I don't want to see your face for the rest of the day. Don't come sit beside us. And walks away. I was this close to starting to cry again. But I didn't want to because I know if I asked my teacher to leave, she'd tell me no. And if I started to cry, she'd be like, what's wrong? And I was known for being a snitch and a tattletale. So I didn't want to go tell my teacher what was wrong. And then my other friend, who we're going to call Chrissy, comes to sit beside me. And she knows that something is wrong. So she's like, what's wrong? And I tell her and all that kind of stuff. And she's like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, it's okay. Now, no one notices something is wrong after we start heading back to class. Because I wasn't with my friends and my face was down. So he came and stood beside me in the line. He's like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing. He's like, no, there's something wrong. I'm like, there's nothing wrong. And he kept on asking me. And I'm like, Noah, there is nothing wrong. Just leave me alone. I yelled at him. And I walked back to class. Like, it was kind of in a sense where I didn't want to tell Noah. Because I didn't want Noah to get wrapped up in a situation that's not like his business, in the sense that I didn't want to ruin his mood. Like, he was in a good mood, he was having a fun day, he was happy, I didn't want to ruin him with my problems. So that's why I didn't tell him anything. And again, it was also in the sense where I didn't like him acting like my older brother and older dad. But this guy was persistent. Like, he would not give up. I'm telling you guys, if something is wrong, Noah will not give up until he gets it out of me. Like, if he has to like squeeze it out of me, he will do it. And this guy would not leave me. We had back to class. We were doing a math project, or like a math activity. This guy sat beside me. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Would not stop. And I'm like, no, would just stop. Leave me alone. He's like, I'm not gonna stop asking you what's wrong. Please tell me what's wrong. I'm like, good. Keep asking because I'm not telling you anything. I was just pissed off at this point. I wasn't gonna tell anybody anything. So then my teacher knows something is wrong, and she's like, Amanda, can I talk to you? So she pulled me out of class. She's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm fine. I probably have heard what's wrong and said I'm fine like 1,000 times that day. I'm like, I'm fine. She's like, no, you're not. You're not sitting with your friends. And I heard Noah asking you what's wrong, what's going on. I'm like, miss, it's nothing. She's like, please tell me. I'm like, okay, can I tell you later? Like, does it have to be now? She's like, you promise you'll tell me later? I'm like, yes. She's like, okay, go back to class. Noah, what's wrong? Me? Nothing, leave me alone. So the end of the day rolls around, and that teacher who asked me in the beginning what was wrong was my favorite teacher. And I used to be obsessed with unicorns back in grade 6, you guys. So she got me this little unicorn plushie that I still have in my room to this day, and gave it to me as like a little early Christmas gift. So then my mom came to pick me up, and then our teacher sat me and my mom down and asked me what's wrong. So I ended up telling the whole story to my mom and my teacher, and like I heard my mom say again, because every single day I'd complain to her about something new that happened. Like, my mom was the kind of person who would hear my rants. Even to this day, she still hears my rants. And then I tell my dad when he comes home from work. But like, my mom used to come inside of school to pick me up. She stopped doing that after... In grade 8, she actually stopped doing that. But in grade 6 and 7, she's still coming because she wanted to meet with my teachers and talk with them. So it was kind of in the sense where, like, I'd always rant to her because she always come to pick me up. And then I rant to my dad when he came home from work. But it's like... I always tell her everything so she'd know all the drama. And my friend's issues was that I would tell my mom everything, and then my mom would call their moms and complain about them. So they were kind of like, Amanda, you need to stop telling your mom everything. Where are you, in preschool? No, I tell my mom everything because she's one of my best friends. My parents are one of my best friends that I trust when I have an issue. Any issue, not only friend business, like any issue, I call them, Mom, Dad, what's your opinion? What should I do? Because they're older than me, they know better, and I need their support all of the time. So I tell my mom, not because I'm trying to get you guys in trouble, I tell my mom because I want to know her opinion on what I should do about this. Clearly that wasn't the case. So the next day, it's language. And Noah comes beside me, he's like, Amanda, can you please tell me what's wrong? Like, I'm not trying to annoy you, I'm sorry if I did, but I need to know if you're okay. So I end up telling Noah everything that happened, and he comforts me, he's like, it's okay, like, it's fine, like, just hang out with me today, like, don't pay attention to the girls. And then our teacher, the one that I told everything to, dragged me, Sabrina, and Christine out of class and next door to our teacher's class because everybody was in like that other class for language. And she's like, you three need to talk this out. When I tell you, I wanted to drop dead in that moment, straight up just die. I wanted to die in that moment because I didn't want them to know anything about this. Like, I told my teacher not to say anything, but she clearly wasn't going to keep quiet. I didn't want to say anything because then I'd be known as being a tattletale. Again. So then Sabrina's like, what do you mean solve this out? Like, she was giving attitude to the teacher. I'm surprised the teacher didn't like get her in trouble or like give her detention or anything. She's like, about the issue that happened yesterday. Oh, how I want the ground to open and swallow me whole. I was not having it. So we spent the whole language class arguing, and we don't come to a conclusion at the end. Can you imagine arguing for 45 minutes and not coming to a conclusion at the end? Like, at least we come to a conclusion. No. There was no conclusion. There was a conclusion that they were trying to pin all the blame on me. Again. So, in the end, their teacher tells us to hug it out and be nice. We do it because we didn't want to continue this conversation any longer. We go back to class. They ignore me for the rest of the week. Before Christmas break, they're ignoring me, you guys. Friday's a half day. They're ignoring me. I was with Noah the whole time. So, Christmas break finishes and we go back to school. And they started acting like nothing was wrong. Like, they didn't just bully me to my core before Christmas break started. I was upset, but I didn't say anything because I didn't want to lose friends. And then Roberts decides to be annoying again. So he comes, he's like, hey, Amanda, so now that Christmas break is done, did you change your mind? No, hun, I didn't change my mind. I really didn't. I'm like, Robert, if you want to be friends, I'm okay with that. But I'm not going to date you. Like, we're too young. He's like, who said we're too young? I'm like, because we're in grade 6. We're in middle school. We're not even in high school yet. Like, I'm telling you guys, most people in my grade started dating, like, around grade 11 or 12. That's when, like, the serious dating started to happen. And some of them are still together in uni. It's just the fact that, like, I feel 11th and 12th grade is when people really start to, like, get serious with dating. Or, like, high school, like, 9, 10, 11, 12. But, like, grade 6 is just not a good time to be dating. Like, I'm telling you guys, Noah was my best friend, and he did not even, like, come asking me, do you want to date? So it's the fact that, like, I was telling Robert no. Like, I was just like, no, that's not going to happen. And then Noah heard the conversation came. He's like, listen, either you stay the hell away from Amanda, or I will make your life a living hell. And then after Noah said that, Robert just, like, walked away and rolled his eyes, and he left me alone. But those girls never made me forget what happened before Christmas break. They acted like everything was normal, but they'd always find a way to be like, oh my god, Amanda, remember what happened before Christmas break? Why? Like, why? I'm pretty sure most of you girls know that us girls always escalate girl drama. We never really, like, stop. We always find a way to, like, escalate the drama. So girl drama never really stops. And there's that, like, saying that I'm pretty sure you guys heard, is that people will stab you in the back and then ask you why you're bleeding, which is really true. Like, I have had people, those girls actually, stab me in the back and then ask me why you're bleeding. And I'd be like, well, you're the one who stabbed me in the back. So it's kind of in a sense where I'm like, you know what, like, whatever. And I just like be like, oh yeah, like I remember it happened. And then I just like quickly change the topic. So they never made me forget it. And it still hurts me to this day because when I think about that situation and so many other situations, by the way, if you guys want more bullying stories to happen to me, comment it down below and I will do them. But it just hurts me to think that, like, imagine a situation happening and everybody putting and pinning the blame on you. Like, it makes you feel like a total piece of garbage. And I just was in very toxic best friend relationships. And up until this day, I still, like, I start to think, like, why didn't I just leave them? Which no one would tell me. He'd be like, Amanda, this isn't healthy for you or anything. Like, this bullying put a huge stress on my personality and my academic level. Like, my mind would be occupied with so many things during class, which is like, I wouldn't be failing, but I wouldn't be doing my best either because half my mind would be occupied with school, other half would be occupied with those girls. And I'd be like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I feel that I was so stressed out in school in 6th grade because of this drama. And it just hurt. Like, it hurt a lot, you guys. And it was kind of in the sense where I was like, I know what I'm supposed to be doing. But I'm not friends with them anymore. And I feel that even though bullying put a really heavy toll on my academic and my personality, that also made me stronger in some way because now if people do decide to bully me, it's just a sense that I ignore them. I really do. And the problem was, in this case, I couldn't ignore them because they were all coming to me and opening the situation. It wasn't like they were talking about behind my back and all I had to do was ignore. No. They were saying it to my face. And they never stopped. Like, even in, like, 7th and 8th grade, you guys, they'd bring it up and I'd be like, why are we talking about this? Like, can we just, like, not? So, I wanted to share this with you guys because, honestly, this really hurt me. Like, I cannot recall the amount of times I would cry in the bathroom stall because I didn't want to cry in front of people, and I'd end up eventually crying in front of people, but it just wasn't something that I enjoyed. It was something that hurt me, and I know that people have been through a lot worse bullying than I have, but I feel that everybody has been bullied once or twice in their own way, and that I just want to share my story to help some of you who might have been bullied. But all I can really say, you guys, is if people are bullying you, don't be like me and try to stay quiet, because I realize that staying quiet actually makes the problem worse, because when you stay quiet, people think that they could just continue doing it. And even though I complain about them and my teacher would talk to them, they wouldn't stop. If they are doing that, you guys, try to talk to somebody who might take some actual action, like maybe your principal or your parents or somebody like that, because I found out that, honestly, Robert was the one person who really, really bullied me to an extent where I wanted to straight up, like, not go to school anymore because he'd have Christine on his side. And the issue was when those two combined, it was like raining fire, you guys, because it was in the sense where they wouldn't stop and they just continue. And I'd be sitting here wanting to just, like, die right there and then, because I didn't enjoy having comments made about me that I didn't like. And it would be in the sense where, I'm going to tell you guys, people started wearing makeup to school in grade 6. And I wouldn't, obviously, for multiple different reasons. I wasn't allowed, and I don't need makeup in grade 6, you guys. The first time I think I actually touched real makeup to my face would have been grade 8 graduation photos. Before then, the only makeup I'd wear would be, like, lip gloss. And it wouldn't even be tinted, it would be clear. Like, lip balm, lip gloss, and clear. So the first time I touched real makeup to my face, you guys, was grade 8 graduation photos. And then grade 8 graduation, and then when I got to, like, 16 years old, my mom started letting me wear real makeup. So people would come to school in makeup, and they're all would be like, oh my god, this is why you don't have a boyfriend, because you don't wear makeup. Well, clearly you asked me to be your girlfriend, so there was something going on there. And he'd always comment about my singing voice, which actually made me, I'm telling you guys, it comes to the point where now I still lock myself in my bathroom and sing when I want to. Because there'd be someone come to me like, oh my god, like, please stop, you're making my ears bleed and stuff like that. And me like, okay, like, just stop, like, stop. All I'm gonna say is bullying is not cool. Like, you can hurt people to an extent where they feel, like, scared to go to school because of what you're doing to them. And it came to a point where I didn't want to go because I knew that the next day there'd be some drama waiting for me. Whether it was with Robert or the girls, there'd be some kind of drama waiting for me. And I just decided that at some point I didn't want to go to school. Like, I'd actually be so happy when I'd be sick and have to stay home from school, because it would be in the sense where I know that there'd be no drama that day. And it was just terrible because I never really felt like anybody was on my side. The only person I felt was on my side, I pushed him away multiple times and he still stayed, was Noah. Which is why I'm thankful to him, you guys, because he was always there for me. If Robert was pissing me off, he'd deal with it. But if it was the girls, he couldn't really say anything. He would just be there to help me. But Noah stayed with me no matter how many times I tried to push him away, he still stayed and wouldn't leave me. So yeah, that's pretty much all for today's video, you guys. I just wanted to share this with you because I felt it needed to be addressed. And I know that some of you have probably dealt with bullying, and I just want to let you know that you're not alone. If you guys do want more extreme bullying stories to happen to me, comment them down below and I will do them. But I'll see you all in the next video. Love you all. Bye.